Charlie Munger once said, "It is remarkable how much long-term advantage people like us have gotten by trying to be consistently not stupid, instead of trying to be very intelligent." Back in 1998 at Harvard, Munger delivered what might be the most brutally practical talk on decision-making ever given. It wasn't about brilliance or genius. It was about why smart people keep making expensive mistakes, and more importantly, how to stop. This isn't theory. This is a user manual for adult life, money, and judgment. Munger's first rule is inversion. Instead of asking, "How do I succeed?" he asks, "How do people reliably fail?" And then he avoids those behaviors like poison. So what reliably destroys lives? Excessive debt, ego-driven decisions, emotional investing, blind loyalty to bad ideas, ignoring incentives, and refusing to admit mistakes. The solution is simple: make a do-not-do list and review it before any major decision. Before you invest, ask, "How could this blow up?" Before a career move, ask, "What would make this a disaster?" Avoiding stupidity compounds faster than seeking brilliance. Next, understand incentives. Munger believed incentives explain behavior better than intelligence, education, or even morality. His rule was, show me the incentives, and I'll show you the outcome. Why do financial advisors trade so often? They earn commissions. Why do CEOs sometimes manipulate earnings? Their bonuses depend on short-term stock prices. You have to study the incentives before you trust any advice. Ask 3 questions in every situation. Who benefits? How are they rewarded? And what happens if they are wrong? If someone gets paid whether you win or lose, you are the product. Munger also identified key psychological traps that cost us the most money. First is incentive-caused bias. People believe what pays them to believe. To counter this, never fall in love with a stock. Force yourself to argue the opposite side. Next is loss aversion. Losses hurt about twice as much as gains feel good. This makes us hold losing investments for too long and stay in bad jobs. The fix? Set your exit rules before you even start. Write down your maximum acceptable loss and the conditions that would make you sell. Then, follow those rules, not your emotions. Another trap is commitment and consistency bias. Once we commit to something publicly, our pride keeps us trapped, even if it's a bad idea. You have to treat changing your mind as a strength, not a weakness. It's okay to say, based on new information, I was wrong. Munger considered stubbornness one of the most expensive human flaws. Finally, there's social proof. When everyone agrees on something, prices become dangerous. Be cautious during periods of intense excitement. If everyone is talking about an investment, reduce your position size and increase your skepticism. Those once-in-a-lifetime stories seem to appear every decade. So how do you make better decisions? Munger warned against thinking from a single discipline. A man with only a hammer sees every problem as a nail. You need to build a latticework of mental models. Master the big ideas from different fields: incentives, opportunity cost, compound interest, probability, and margin of safety. Read widely, focus on the fundamentals, not the latest trends. You don't need hundreds of models. Just learn the most important ones and use them often. When it comes to money, Munger's philosophy was conservative, boring, and incredibly effective. His core rules were simple. First, avoid leverage. Debt removes your flexibility and turns small mistakes into disasters. Second, favor simplicity. Low-cost index funds outperform most active strategies. Low fees matter more than cleverness. Third, concentrate your investments only when you truly understand the risk, not just when you feel confident. And finally, let compounding work its magic. Time is your most powerful ally. Design your finances to survive the bad years. That means having emergency cash, a conservative asset allocation, and never being in a position where you're forced to sell under stress. Survival always comes before returns. Munger also believed life outcomes are deeply influenced by character. Protect your reputation like it's your most valuable capital. Avoid questionable partners, always keep your promises. And say no to situations that require you to rationalize bad behavior. And on a personal level, avoid envy. It's a corrosive and pointless emotion. Choose your relationships carefully. Take care of your health, because that compounds too. And always live below your means. Munger lived to be 99 years old by consistently avoiding obvious stupidity, not by chasing some impossible ideal of perfection. In the end, Charlie Munger didn't offer motivation. He offered damage control. His final formula was simply to avoid things that cause permanent harm. Avoid debt, avoid ego, avoid bad incentives, avoid emotional decisions, and avoid the crowd at its extremes. If you do that consistently, you don't need to be a genius. You just need patience, humility, and self-control, which, according to Munger, is already rare enough to give you a massive advantage. The full text of Charlie Munger's 1998 Harvard Law School speech, titled "The Need for More Multidisciplinary Skills from Professionals: Educational Implications," is available online. Thanks for watching.